Hi there, welcome to some breaking news within the Noah Presgrove community. Everything that I have predicted from day one onwards has come true in recent time. Amongst, I believe, the Army page, when it comes to admins, when it involves Elisha Lee, Kaden Pressy's mom, there's been a lot of tension just recently. Some people getting blocked left, right and centre, others not getting the chance or opportunity to defend themselves, and it all imploding on itself, action being taken, Justin Roy putting his foot down, and much more. Be sure to stick around today as I share with you, for some, never seen before screenshots and conversations in recent time. Take in mind, these are people, these are pages involved in the Noah Presgrove case when learning, trying to solve stuff, provide material and evidence along the way. So it does run in parallel with the case, hence why it's being covered. And furthermore, I have done my predictions in the past where things would go, where it would be at now or so, and that's exactly what's happened. I'll be giving you my commentary, thoughts and analysis on everything that's going on, what people are saying, what people are posting, the implosion of admins being kicked, removed and whatnot, roles and positions changing very quick. It might shock you, but it doesn't shock me too much because whilst my predictions at times were vague, I had an idea what could happen and what could go wrong. And when it does go wrong, it can drag the case down. And when it does involve the likes of people of interest, possible witnesses, those connected to them, parents, family of family and whatnot, when they get brought in or they drag themselves in, it is about the case and it's trying to work things out from there. What happens next? How can things be improved? Is it even repairable? Join me today in this live premiere, especially for those watching in the moment. Welcome. Share your reactions yourself and let me know what you think in the live chat located on the right hand side of the screen. And be sure to drop your comments down below under the video. If you are interested in continued coverage with this case and you've missed out on previous videos, don't worry, you will find them in my full playlist, top right corner, the screen where the eye symbol is. And if you do want to support this channel in an alternative way, down below in the comment section, there'll be a pinned message with the PayPal link. And that's pretty much it for that. Shout out to those that have supported the channel in recent time and for everybody else that continues to watch, because of course, for as long as this case goes on for, it does become a bit of a marathon in a way, like when it comes to stamina, what can be talked about, and arguably in recent time, it's actually unlocked new ideas, and the odd autopsy report detail is giving me some ideas to do a video on that itself. And in the background with the references to Noah Presgrove and his girlfriend, it's an absolute disaster that, yet another simple event. Is it Fallon? How I pronounced it originally, Phelan. Maybe it depends what country you come from, but Fallon, same individual. It's just that some people spell it differently, and that's what causes the confusion. You got Fallon, and then you've got Nevaeh. Two separate people. And yet there was a time when they kept going bleed back and forth like musical chairs. I said, oh, Fallon. Oh, you mean Nevaeh? Oh, okay, same person. What? Two different people. Oh, Fallon, as in at the party, like how some of the reports said in the autopsy. No, it's actually Nevaeh there. Okay, then Nevaeh at the party. No, it was Fallon there. Wait, Fallon, Nevaeh, Fallon, same person, different people. Who's there, who's not? Absolute disaster, the way people were wording it in the past, because these are names I've never heard of before back then and still trying to get to grips with it now. Two separate people, not at the same time then. And that can be for a separate video, but I just wanted to highlight it because I think it was with Beth Carr and some other people that were going on about it. Maybe another person called Jade at one point, referring to Noah's girlfriend or one of his girlfriends at the time. And to keep up with the names as to who was who at the present point at the party, whether present or not, it got so confusing. if you remember, that's for a separate video. What we're doing today in the order of how we'll take a look at stuff is, there's like a dump of screenshots, a post or two, but then conversations and responses to read, analyze, and assess what's going on, to understand the importance behind it, to compare, contrast, to links what I made. And I will step on in with my own thoughts, and I could possibly do it right now, arguably, that what you're going to see today, if you're watching, you want breaking news, you want shocking developments, you want to see total implosion, chaos, you've come to the right place. What's going to be looked at today is that, but how it's going to be spoken about in quite a calm way for most part of it. And that is such a contrast, being able to weather and handle a storm in a controlled way. But what I will say is, what's gone on in recent time wouldn't have happened, or not as bad, if humans listened to me. That can apply to the admin roles, moderators more so. That whilst I've applied it on YouTube as to why I don't have certain roles and moderators, because it can lead to further problems and people getting power hungry, well, that's obviously what's happened on Facebook. Because in recent time, whether it all be down to Justin Roy and or another person giving people new roles, passing the baton on to others, new moderators coming on in and cleaning previous people out, taking charge, power getting to their head, me being kicked out of the army page as well. It is what it is, but it's not just me, because others along the way have been kicked. And more so in recent time, people kicked like Beauty Garumo for doing absolutely nothing wrong. One day at a time being kicked for doing absolutely nothing wrong. But rumours being spread by some out there on Facebook claiming that one day at a time was supplying Warlight Ref screenshots, which is absolutely categorically with ironclad certainty not the case, because I've never contacted One Day at a Time and they've never reached out to me. I don't even know what they look like. I don't even know what their actual name is. They just appear here and there in the chat and are a good person. That's pretty much it. So you can see through misunderstandings, impetuous behaviour, tunnel vision, narratives being twisted and shaped to suit certain people's agendas, them passing it on to others, and then the others in the High Council nodding their heads like yes men, yes women, without actually seeing hard evidence, going along with it, then maybe making decisions to block and kick people. That's reckless. Then it leads to its own problems. Then it can lead to the page and the one in charge of it being questioned as well. It could make a bit of a mockery, but more so, it just tarnishes the credibility and more. So if I had moderators on my channel, and if unfortunately at one point, some people got a bit too controlling and power got to their head, because it can in life, it just happens, it's like nature. What will happen then is people get blocked, kicked, removed, and I get the blame because I appointed people in certain roles, and then it puts my credibility in question and tarnishes me. As wild and chaotic as the chat might be at times, it's because it's natural by people's own behaviour, and it can always be balanced out by others. See, this is what I mean when it comes to certain light side people that say, oh, Warlight Ref's chat has been taken over by the dark side. Well, don't let the dark side take over then. It's not that difficult. If people walk away or step down, what do you think's gonna happen? Okay? It's like you're holding back water, and whilst it can be impossible to do so, but you're trying to hold back something at least. If you just let go and walk away, the floodgates are going to open. It's just going to pour through. It's going to take over, right? So people that stick around, shout out to them, but it's just like common sense. People that complain about, oh, the dark side's taken over. It's because you've let it happen. You wanted balanced. All you had to do we stick about. It's not that hard. But of course, if it comes down to personal choice, I understand. But if you make the decision to step down, to walk away, you can't be complaining about things being taken over when you kind of allowed that to happen. But besides dark side taking over, has it been a dark cloud? No, it's actually been almost like sunshine in terms of being able to breathe. See, this is the thing, what people from the light side don't actually see is that whilst I might have a wider range of people from one side more than the other watching the videos, it's not like I've got a blindfold. It's not like I've got duct tape wrapped around me. There's no tasers hanging about. No one's prodding me behind with a cattle prod, nothing like that. Right now, I could suddenly go into doing a video about, why Jack Newton could know something. How could he be linked to Noah's death? I could do all that, and people may not agree with it, of course, but I'm not going to get attacked. And if on the sideline I did get attacked by the odd, knob, well, it doesn't matter that much. It's not the end of the world because, I've seen it before from other sides, but it's just like, there's just more patience, there's more lenience. And at the end of the day, I think there's that common sense that this is my channel, my coverage, my videos, so I can go in any direction that I want. It's just that some people from the light side may get a little bit ratty and entitled when it comes to what can and can't be covered, what should and shouldn't be presented. But whilst we have gone over that over and over again, I've tied in where the problems lie and the mindsets and attitudes. And because people weren't willing to listen from over there, and they said, it's just an attack on this page. Warlike Ref is attacking the army page. Well, I look deep into your eyes and say, well, where are things now? What's happened since? Post advice given, post ignorance, where are you at now? Are you worse off now than what you were before? Oh, I wonder why. What, because my attacks caused this? No. My observations were valid. I was giving a heads up. But because people chose to ignore it, that's why you're in the mess where you are right now. Advice was also given way back in the past. Some people chose not to take it on board or listen, and then they got burnt by the flames down the line. There's only so much I can do and repeat myself. And then past that point, pretty much it, lost cause, right? So with that being said, to set the scene, let's take a look at the recent conversations and posts of what's gone down and the impact it's had within the case. Here we are with the first post itself, and I will zoom in just a second, making it easier for people's viewing. This is on Noah Presgrove's Army, where all the problems and trouble is coming from at this moment in time. And it's a post made by Michelle Ray Brummett that was a new moderator on the Army page, someone that took power to their hand. Michelle Ray Brummett with the wonky glasses, responsible for doing a call to arms in falsely getting my video reported and taken down from YouTube because they believed it was misinformation, harassment, bullying, and much more, even though that my video and the transcripts proved that there was no misinformation from my mouth and I did it in a very controlled environment. It's just that Michelle Ray Brummett has got tunnel vision, tunnel hearing, one-dimensional and a little obtuse, and that applies to some other people too. So whilst Michelle Ray Brummett being a moderator in recent time, power getting to their head, and I guess this was one of the posts that was made or so, roughly around the time before it all went wrong. So we'll just read it out. A reminder, please do not break these rules. It will result in being banned. Well, that sounds great already, doesn't it? New group rules. So what are they? Number 1, no bashing of Noah's family. We all have opinions and that is fair, but it will not be tolerated in this group. If you state a fact, then do your best to provide a receipt. If it's an opinion, then please state, in my opinion. We do not want people taking off with false narratives. Oh, but there was many false narratives and false rumours in the past though, and that was well received and welcome, wasn't it? And people just took people's words for it. Noah wanting a ride home, as in calling his father, and then in recent time the father saying that never happened, didn't receive a call. And then some other stuff along the way. The supposed cleansing of the phone, but how people sourced, worded it, didn't give a direction where it came from originally, so it just sounded like it was being emitted from the army page, which led to misunderstandings, poor language communication. Has it improved since? Maybe. But it's kind of interesting. See, no bashing of Noah's family. So does that basically mean that if you mention any criticisms, any valid observations with hard evidence and receipts, which could be of a negative tone towards the victim's family, you're not making them look bad, you're not attacking them, they've done it to themselves if they have poorly worded something, if they've relayed information on elsewhere and it's led to further questioning. And no offence, this is just based off observations and hard evidence, like the situation with Robin Smith in the past when communicating with Donna Bond, and Robin, was it Donna Bond or someone else? Robin Smith was saying, we need to blast Avery's location, who was at a baby shower in a different room in a brewery. How helpful was that? Sounded reckless, in my opinion. So, and then on Reddit that time, Robin Smith saying, well, from what investigator has told me, is that Carter Combs' phone was wiped and other partygoers deleted their social media or videos. How true is that? Who knows? But of course, like with Jack Newton, in a way, that was told stuff from police and Zachary Wright. We've not seen it ourselves from the horse's mouth, but, people believe what Robin says because she was told by police, well then what Jack says, who was told by police, should be the truth as well in regard to other things. Give and take. Listen to one, you listen to all, show that balance. So let me know your thoughts in the live chat. React. Do you think these rules are fair? Is there a level of hypocrisy, double standards? Second rule, what Michelle mentions, is no drama or arguing with one another in the group. Remain respectful and take it to the DMs or block one another. We are all adults and should be able to remain as adults. And obviously, with time, with what we've seen, me being the youngest male, the youngest human in this case, and to be honest, I probably act and appear much older than all these humans, all these fully grown adults combined together in age, that my behaviour, my wording, I might as well be a vampire, and I'm over 10,000 years old in age, because the actions by people, what we've seen, such as on the army page, case discussion page, and maybe here and there at times in the past from the Sofa Sleuth page, some, is like dealing with children, but these are fully grown people who may have families, maybe in relationships, in a certain professional role in their work life, and when you see them online, it kind of makes you worry and think, if they're like that, here, what are they like face to face if you get on the wrong side of them? It gets all crazy. But it's interesting for Michelle Ray Burnett to say, and no drama or arguing. But by the way, beforehand, you do a call to arms post in hopes of getting my video taken down when I'm simply trying to cover the case and keep it alive on YouTube. Yeah, that sounds really practical, that. Not. Moving on. Rule number 3. No bringing drama from other groups to our group. We do not care what is said in other groups. If you want to know what is happening over in the other groups, go look, but do not bring it over here. You have to be kidding me. No drama from other groups. We do not care what is said elsewhere. If that's really the case, Michelle Ray Brummett, why did you care enough to do a post, a call to arms, with a screenshot and instructions on how to report my video when I'm keeping to myself, in terms of my language and wording, physically on a different platform geographically, and on my own channel? And yet you grab that and you bring it over to the page in which you've got rules saying, don't be doing this and that, you are breaking the rules yourself, Michelle Ray Brummett. Well done. Oh, or were these rules made after? So then it's not classified as broken. Wow, crazy. Really crazy. Number 4, no dirty deleting. Oh no, that line, it makes me cringe so hard. And you know why? Because it gives me PTSD flashbacks to the Dylan Rounds case community when you had that person called Kay Lee that said, oh my God, someone's doing some dirty deletes. That's exactly how they laughed, in case you were wondering. Dirty deletes. Oh, that word, that line, it just sounds so degenerative. But anyway, if you make a comment meant for everyone to see, then leave it. Do not delete. Wait, so if it's misinformation as well, do not delete. But that's what the interesting thing is. If you make comments for everyone, you're not allowed to delete it. So if that comment breaks guidelines, breaks rules, or spreads misinformation, or it's accidental and you wasn't meant to, you can't delete it now. It's irreversible. But by the way, at the same time, you might get removed from the page, and maybe your comments may get removed too, which then kind of goes against this number 4 rule, and there's a level of contradiction and overlapping. So this is really well thought out. Number 5. All posts will be vetted before being approved. If it does not relate to Noah's case, it will not be approved. Well, if posts are going to be vetted and it's based off approval, what's accepted, what's not, yeah, there's a level of control there. But wasn't it the same way in the past before the 1-year anniversary of Noah Presgrove and you had Tiffany Problematic Shepherd? Or should we say Inner Tiff, Noah Epiphany Shepherd, who ended up doing a post attacking Noah's family at a sensitive time, and the admins or moderators approved of it. And some of Noah's families weren't happy with that either and tried getting it taken down or trying to reach out, and in the end it was Partners in True Crime. Now, why would Justin Royce supposedly listen to Partners in True Crime but not the victim's family? Is it because Partners in True Crime have some kind of power? In what way then? Very interesting. Okay, let's move on to number 7. Screenshots will be allowed as long as they are from reputable sources, not just hearsay. Well, you spelt that wrong. You need to get rid of the space. And furthermore, okay, screenshots are allowed. Screenshots are what keeps things alive. You know what the hypocrisy is? Some people from the Army page have the cheek, including Jan Fiorillo, to say Warlight Ref relies on our content, on our material, on screenshots, because without it, he would have nothing. Well, first of all, that's not true because I can do my own standard videos itself and map analysis. But second of all, you don't own the copyright to those screenshots, not all of them. The exception of some people that actually had the conversations with the people of interest that got screenshots themselves, but the rest were all dished around and passed on and on and on and spread. You do not own them. You don't have the rights or the copyright of them, exactly. You're working with them like how I am. So there shouldn't be a problem. You do what you do, I'll do what I do. But then you start having to go at me saying I'm relying and I'm using your stuff. It's not quite your stuff. But you more so rely on it yourself. You go on the Army page, you go on the discussion page, you go on quite a few different true crime pages. And whilst there are discussions and comments, there's a lot of screenshots and a lot of reactions to it. That's what people rely on. You don't see people creating full-on long format videos or videos in general on a Facebook page analysing. It's just text. It's just words for most part of it. At least over here, it's varied in more ways. Now, number 8, no blocking admins. Okay. Number 9, admins have the complete authority to shut off commenting, to post that go against our rules, No questions asked. Number 9, any violators of the group rules will have consequences. First offence will result in limited access to participate in the group. Second offence will result in being removed from the group, no question asked. You all have been warned. We are only here for justice for Noah. And have a nice stay. Oh my goodness. You have been warned. It sounds like I'm being sent to some kind of death camp on what I can and can't do. I'm expected to just be all happy and relaxed. You could be tense at all times. Oh, can't do this, can't do that, can't breathe, can't think. What can I do? Okay, this is almost as torturous as Beauty Gurumo taking away those brushes and paints and, just having to imagine what my nails could look like in a different colour without being able to apply them. What a shocker. But, that's the post itself. What about the comment section? I believe it comes from underneath. And Elisha Lee has a few things to say, so I will zoom into it an extent. Elisha Lee says, but by all means, Jan Fiorillo and Pam Feldman Garrison can make a post about my son Kaden and I, then block us so we can't defend ourselves. This is insane. Wow. See, this is the difference between me, my channel, and on Facebook. I do videos where I cover people, maybe in a negative light, but that's more so because they've done it to themselves, where people have put their own back against the wall, and I still try and defend them when I can, even though quite a few people are ignorant and just don't acknowledge that. They just think of the negatives of me. But at the end of the day, as bad as it may be, I allow those same said individuals to defend themselves and respond in the moment and maybe onwards. And even if some people were so toxic, so annoying and beyond and two-faced, that at least in the moment, I will still allow them to respond, defend themselves, or yap on as much as they need to. And then at a later point, then I will cleanse if necessary, for the sake and health of myself, my channel, and some others. Okay? But in the moment, there is still freedom of speech in the moment. Of course, if some people abuse it too much, well then, we'll see what happens. But, let me know your thoughts here. You might not agree with Elisha Lee, Kaden Pressy. You might be suspicious of them. But do you think it's unfair what's happened here? That the likes of Jan Fiorillo and Pam Feldman Garrison, that are supposedly a part or were of the Army page for justice, who are also a part of the travesty complex group. There's conflicts of interest, of course. And let's not forget, Pam Feldman Garrison was the one in that conversation on a Facebook Messenger in the past that called Elisha Lee a bitch and calling Kaden a pawn, caught up within it all. And there was some bad news or dirt on Elisha, which could be revealed, which Pam was going on about. Did Elisha find out about that? Well, maybe if she was watching my videos. Very interesting, is it not? Elisha, Kaden should be able to defend themselves at least in the moment, but they've been blocked. And I'm guessing if Jan and Pam, are they admins? Were they, or were they just simply posting? I'm not too sure, but someone had blocked Elisha. But will it say who? Michelle responds, I'm so sorry that you are being treated this way. As an admin, I do not agree with it, but I'm just one vote. So somebody else responsible. I believe that your son has been honest and is doing the right thing. No one in the public has a right to demand anything from you or him, in my opinion. Okay. What else do we have here? This particular response by Elisha does move on to the next page. So what I'll do is I'll just move on over, as you see there, because then it's the full post itself. Elisha's response to Michelle, I know what's going on and many of us see it as well. It's just sad that people resort to this type of behaviour. I do not know Jan Fiorillo or Pam Feldman Garrison from Adam. Oh, you just don't know them. Okay. For either of Jan or Pam to believe I would trust them and or owe them anything shows a level of entitlement. So Elisha is basically saying that Jan Fiorillo is an entitled individual along with Pam. That makes a change in a way from, people closer within the case giving those thoughts, because we've come across Jan in recent time who changed in attitude and behaviour. Jan with a long comments and paragraphs, falsely analysing warlike wrath in a very piss-poor way and mentioning some ridiculous points mentioned whilst complimenting it with fancy words and trendy labels and whatnot. It was a bit cringe. Elisha says, Jan and Pam have claimed that I am in cahoots with Donna Bond, also known as Donna Kebab Bond. Donna has claimed that I am an alcoholic. Is that so? What's going on here? That I'm an alcoholic, that I have a horrible relationship with my children. Pam has made public statements that she could fuck that lying bitch up 10 ways of Sunday. So Elisha did come across that comment by Pam in the background. There's a small chance that maybe Elisha may have seen my video when I covered that. See, it's important to spread awareness so even the likes of Elisha gets to find out what's really going on in the background when people are talking about her. Just like how some people talk behind my back and then come to my channel and act all nice. Perfect example is Beth Carr, or also known as Beth, I crashed my car. And then also Michelle Ray Wonky Glasses Brummett, two-faced individuals, and that's just observation based on what I've seen before and after in their own behaviour. Very disappointing to see, of course. I was lenient beforehand, I was patient, and people still did not respect that. But there we go. Elisha says, I do not have any ill feelings towards anyone in Noah's family, regardless of what anyone says or posts. But supposedly there is screenshots to show that in the past, at least, before the TikTok interview live stream with One Crime at a Time, the host, and then Kaden, Elisha, Robin, Ashley, and Deborah all getting together, before that taking place like a week before or two, Elisha said she does not trust Kathy Bingham and she does not trust Noah Presgrove's family. We saw that ourselves. But of course, things can change in between. So there is that. Elisha says, regardless of what anyone says or posts, Robin Smith has never had a problem coming to me for anything. So let's stop spreading lies. Well, I didn't think that Robin had an issue with Elisha. But did Robin knew that Elisha didn't trust Noah's family in the early days, just for that communication and understanding? Elisha then says, this is just people making up stories to make themselves feel better. Let's set the record straight. Jan Fiorillo never offered to pay for Kaden's attorney. Oh. The army group raised funds for him to obtain an attorney. Not for anything other than that. As many have noticed, I have been returning those funds to the original donors. Some need to step off their self-appointed thrones. Try as you may, but the words you say and type do not make it true, as my son post. Wait, so who was the one stating that Jan Fiorillo offered to pay for Kaden's attorney then? Who said that? Was it Jan herself or some other people? Because Elisha is saying it wasn't Jan. Jan never offered to pay. Interesting. And in regard to the army group, members that had raised funds, Elisha has returned some of them to original donors. Is it because those original donors have been problematic since? I wonder. But you know what? In terms of the reference of people need to step off their self-appointed thrones, this is very similar, it really is, to the private investigator debacle and drama before the 1 year anniversary when it came to Epiphany Shepherd, the one that was questioning and calling out having a go at like Robin Smith and whatnot, that because Tiffany Shepherd gave an anonymous donation and then later kicked from the page, she felt like she was hard done and that the family wasn't grateful enough for what she had done originally. But of course, with it being an anonymous donation, how the hell would Robin Smith know? How the hell would anyone know? It's a bit dumb, that, isn't it? Maybe if you had your actual name shown, that there might have been more leniency afterwards and you wouldn't have got kicked. But because you were anonymous, it sounds like two different people, two different personalities. That's all. And then I remember Robin Smith's response saying, well, if you're going to act like this and this is your entitlement behaviour, well, we're quite well and okay with refunding the money back to you and maybe other people. Doubling down on it, just like how Elisha has supposedly here. How interesting. And in response, we've got Michael Faze Kaz, also known as Michael in a Daze Kaz, responding to Elisha. I agree with you 100%. It would be nice if Pam Feldman Garrison was able to articulate these lies she accuses you of, other than stating generally that you're a liar and unstable. I'm truly having a hard time understanding what her motive is. Clearly, it is not truth or justice. If she plans on making a post about you and Kaden, it will not be allowed on any page. Admin, which I guess could be the case discussion one, or was. And this is all about Pam. Pam being a problem. And then Jan is with Pam, and Pam and Jan are with Travis. Sounds like a complete travesty, does it not? That when you align yourself with others who are problematic or troublesome, does it then make you a problem as well? In some people's eyes, yes. In my eyes, it just makes me think, well, maybe you link up with one another because you all relate. And if it's relating with toxic traits, well, that's not healthy or good for the case in general, is it not? And, in the early days, I would have made these observations before other people did. But then, of course, you've got those from the dark side that have seen the other alternative bad things, maybe from day one, which I did not see because, I had to see it from both sides over time. Michelle Ray Brummett responds to Michael, as you can see, I'm no longer an admin in this group. So Michelle Ray Brummett, after the post that she made, I guess, she is no longer an admin. That power, that position has been ripped from her. Maybe because of her behaviour, her actions, going against rules herself to some extent. Also, attacking a creator such as myself that has helped keep this case alive elsewhere. Naughty behaviour, Michelle Ray Brummett. Michael says, Justin is in a difficult position. It's hard to know who to trust. I too was a former army admin. I don't hold it against him, as I know his only purpose is finding justice. But I don't think there's any justice in whinging and whining on about my coverage and style, such as the time when Justin in recent times said, I thought Warlight Raf was going to cover everything in this case, but turns out he didn't. Wait, what? Have you not seen? I've covered it from the light side, I've covered it from the dark side, and when I covered it from the dark side, it was seen as, oh, I've picked my side, I've chose my bed to sleep in. What? So all over the place. And then obviously, Justin Roy, also known as Just in Lacking Context Roy, when it comes to screenshots, the screenshot Supremo, in which it's cropped down of my transcript, which doesn't show the full context. But luckily, I back it up with the full context and explain it. So that whole agenda in recent time of the army page and certain members grasping at straws in trying to push a false narrative about Warlight Raf attacking that page. All incorrect. All incorrect. And to say that I'm attacking the page just because I was questioning what other people were stating. How ridiculous is that? Because I know guaranteed if that same video existed much earlier on in the case when I was on the light side, it wouldn't have battered an eyelid with anyone. Everyone would have been like, oh yeah, we get Raf, here's to set the record straight. No, that person isn't a part of the page. There's never have been. Could you do an update on it? Thank you. Take care. Continue on. Oh, but because there's already an agenda in place by people of business, as in, oh, well, because Warlight Raf seems to be on the dark side, or because he welcomes it on his channel, it basically means anything that he covers from now on, we're just not going to be lenient about because we're going to be petty instead. Well, that's not natural. That's a problem, is it not? Is Justin in a difficult situation? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Maybe we could do a poll as well. See how that goes. We'll do a poll. Justin Roy, is he in a difficult situation? Yes or no? Continuing on with the conversations here. Michael to Michelle. Justin, yep. Oh, Renee Macy, whoever this is, to Michelle. I'm sad. I like your style. I felt safe to participate with your admin leadership. I hope you're brought back. Is this for real? You feel safe around Michelle Ray Brummett? Really? Michelle Ray Trumpet, more like, blowing the trumpet all about, rallying a call to arms. Galley up everyone. Charge at Warlight Raf and report his video. How helpful is that? I don't think so. And some of the little snide comments made here and there. You know, Renee, if you truly feel safe when around Michelle Ray Brummett's leadership, just be aware that there'll be times where she will put false words in your mouth to spread a false lie with time. Just like the time Michelle Ray Brummett falsely accused Warlight Raf for calling her the B word, a female dog, when I never did. And people actually believed in what Michelle said, and then people, you know, turned on me to a small extent. Very dangerous. Do you want Michelle Ray Brummett, who is known for spreading lies and being two-faced, as your leader? It sounds detrimental, does it not? And part of these new admins or bloody moderator roles in recent time is what's led to all this starting to kick off, and like with Elisha as well, being blocked, Kaden. Michelle says, thank you. I guess it remains to be seen. I'm not abandoning Noah. I have other avenues. What does that mean? You have other avenues as in other pages like travesty? Laura Dutton, I agree with Justin being in a difficult position. But it's interesting how you got Laura Dutton communicating with Michael Faye's Kaz, and yet there was a severe breakdown in communication when you had that random Facebook group chat page, which was supposedly created or suggested by Laura Dutton. Michael Faye's Kaz has a screenshot of it as proof, but then Laura Dutton says, nope, I never created that group. It must have been somebody else. And then Michael Faye's Kaz said, well, you know, the name was changed to Stevie Howard with the correct spelling, and Michael did that himself, but the person that spelt it incorrectly in the first place to do with Stevie Howard, that was by Laura Dutton, who created the group. But then when we looked at the screenshot of the group chat, it said Michael Faye's Kaz named the group to Stevie Howard spelled incorrectly, and Michael was the one saying, no, Laura did that, and then he had to change it himself, but it wasn't. So, you know, it's an absolute disaster that. It was never resolved. It was brushed off. Oh, so what? It doesn't really explain much. It doesn't link to the case. It doesn't solve. It doesn't create justice for Noah. Oh, so we'll just leave it aside and let it fade away, never to be solved ever. So you got Laura Dutton saying, I didn't create it. And you got Michael Faye's saying, yes, you did. Who did? What happened? Absolute mess. Really is. What else do we have? We've got Anita K. I'm kind of familiar with that name in the past. They say to Jan, an admin needs to confirm, but reading Rule 4 above, that's my understanding. Okay. Michelle, I'd say it is. Michelle to Jan Fiorillo, the reasoning is when we were brought in to be admin, we were told Justin wanted not to be deleted or removed from the page and trying to keep the integrity of the page and the information. Right, so there's some comments by Jan which I can't see, but we might get to them later, possibly. It depends what order it's all in. It's in other groups rules as well. I had this problem in a group starting on March 7th and ending yesterday with admin's knowledge. So I wonder what page, what group Anita is referring to. March 7th and ending yesterday. Other group rules. In other group rules, what are the case discussion? Interesting. Now, of course, yeah, there's some responses by Jan, but I guess it might be other screenshots elsewhere. There is the odd comment by Jan Fiorillo, obviously a very long one, and we'll get to that very shortly. But the reasoning, what Michelle refers to, and profile picture appears to be a bit different here, so that's interesting. Did it change in between? Brought in to be admin, was told Justin wanted not to be deleted. So Justin wanted to remain, even if he wasn't that active, just so that when people did come along or return back, they saw his name still there. So everything's still under control and there's integrity. So basically, for as long as Justin Roy is present, then it maintains the integrity of the page and the information. Is that so? There's Jan Fiorillo. Okay. And unfortunately, of course, it's impossible to fit Jan's comment on one screenshot post, so it will be over a few slides. Apologies about that. Steve Baker to Jan. Didn't you, Jan and Pam, make a post about Elisha and Kaden Pressy and then blocked them so they can't defend themselves? Talk about dirty. What does Jan have to say? I'm sorry you feel that way, and you are certainly entitled to your opinion, although uninformed. It really sounds robotic when Jan talks. Very formal. I wanted people to be allowed to openly discuss their thoughts and opinions without dealing with the combatants and insults, and was my intention by not having Elisha Pressy on that post. But as you can see, Elisha Pressy had plenty of people supporting and defending her decisions, which was not the point of my post and what I did not want to happen. Right, so what are you actually referring to here then? My intention by not having Elisha on that post. What does that mean? You didn't want her to comment on the post. You just wanted to create a post and make sure she couldn't respond. Maybe the easiest thing to do there would have been to create a post but turn off, the comment section, maybe. Then onwards, Jan says, I did not want the post to get hijacked with defensive and or defending comments and turned into that. I wanted to know how people objectively see this scenario, and I wanted to find out if Kaden Pressy's timeline, true or false, had any bearing on what people, something as to what they think happened to Noah. There are a lot of members on here who feel differently than you, but do not want to state their opinions for fear of being harassed or kicked out. Oh, but I do my videos, my opinions, thoughts and analysis, and then Jan has some long criticism to provide, and Jan ends up using some very weird language to say, Raf throws his toys out the pram, but at the end of the day, it's the army page that's crying out the most when it comes to certain individuals, where they go on and on and on, like over at people like Pam, literally in a pram, throwing the toys out. Crazy. Interesting, then. Right, okay, well, let's just move on anyway. This is still the comment continuing on, right? You didn't want it to get hijacked. A lot of members get kicked out of the group. I believed, or at least hoped, this group was better than that. But it's not. Is that what Jan means? It just goes to show that when people have the cheek to whinge and whine about me, they go elsewhere thinking they've upgraded or found a better land of heaven or paradise far from it. Tropical storm. I will say again, because it appears you have not read my many comments, and for many months where I state that I have supported and believed in Kaden and his mom since day one. What I don't support is Noah's family not having confirmation when Elisha claims they have substantiating records acquired by the attorney that this army group raised funds for. Also, what the post was about. Several of Elisha Pressy's close associates have stated that Elisha is willing to have the family come to her home to show them Kaden Pressy's proof of this 5:21 a.m. timeline. You basically mean 5:15 onwards. And then in regard to 5:21 on the scene, I hope these records also show that Kaden Pressy was also not there again on the highway after 6:05 and can also squash that rumour. I hope this is indeed true and happens soon. So in order to show it as evidence, willing to have Noah's family come to her home to see the proof. Is this proof not possible to release publicly? Because if it was, it could help a lot, couldn't it? Zoom in. There we go. The post was about the wants, needs and feelings of the victim's family first, and I didn't want the post to turn into an all about Elisha and Kaden Pressy. I'm sorry you couldn't see that, but the post has certainly been eye-opening for me, which was also another point to making it. Right, so Jan Fiorillo, around beating around the bush, beating around the advocates for avocados, what's actually come out of this? Not a lot. A lot's been said, but not much has been spoken. So, see, the thing is, what the original person was asking was, didn't you and Pam or one of you restrict Elisha from commenting on that post so she couldn't defend herself? And all Jan is saying is, well, it's unfortunate that you think that way. Basically, the steps and the guidelines, what I thought was needed and was necessary for the victim's family to prevent any abstract interruptions and any interferences from anybody else who could be defending Kaden or Elisha and beyond, and it getting out of hand and taking focus away from what's really important in first sight. But what did you actually do? What did you actually do? Are you saying to that person asking that you did block Elisha or you didn't? Or did you just simply disable the comment section for that one post, meaning Elisha could not respond, Kaden, and everybody else couldn't respond? Now, if you disabled the comments on that one post, yes, you're denying people like Elisha to defend themselves and respond back, but it wouldn't mean that Elisha is blocked. It just means they just can't respond. And it's important to highlight that because there was a time in the past where indirectly Elisha assumed that Warlight Raf blocked her from my YouTube channel. I don't know if anyone actually knew about that or remembered, but Elisha Pressy actually felt that I blocked her from my channel. I have never blocked Elisha Lee from my channel. The reason why she assumed that is because when she was searching on YouTube for my channel, she couldn't find me. So I guess with the equivalent of being on Facebook when you're looking for a Facebook page or group and it does not show up, that means you've been blocked or kicked from the page. That doesn't work like that on YouTube. When someone is blocked on YouTube, you can still find the person's channel, you can still watch their videos, you can still comment, but your comments will not show to other people who are on that same page or channel. That's it. So really, when you do block people, it doesn't stop people from watching your videos. So, there's that. And Elisha could comment on my videos, there's no issues there. So Elisha jumped the gun a little bit. Could there have been a misunderstanding here as well? Who knows? But because of Jan's comment being so dragged out and not actually clear in answering a simple question, who knows? Because Jan is explaining the ins and outs as to what she didn't want to happen and steps made to maybe avoid the problems. But what does that mean? By blocking people or by restricting, limiting the comments, turning them off? There's a difference. There's a big difference. Then Jan says, as for Pam Feldman Garrison, please address her separately. Pam has a different experience and point of view about some of this than I do and can speak for herself if she chooses. To add, I have never made a post with Pam, so not sure what you're trying to imply with that. Right, so it's kind of like Jan is trying to distance herself from Pam. I'm not her. She's got her own mind, does her own thing. But you both come from or at least hang out at a similar place elsewhere, though. The third group, correct? Anita to Steve, thank you for posting this. I had no idea. And then in regard to what we've got here, this is supposedly what the admin's moderator list looks like on the Army page in recent time, I believe. Justin Roy, of course. And then you got Dusty Butler, who I'm very familiar with, remember them in the past. And then Sherry Wright, who I think may have been commenting on my channel in recent time. And what I will say is, if that is the person who I know of, the Sherry Wright, the correct one, shout out to Sherry, because in recent time, I think Sherry left a comment saying, no, Melissa LeQuay has never been on the Army page. That's not true. Setting the record straight, fair enough, and doing it in a controlled way. No complaining, no attacking, just setting the record straight. So if it's the same person that I think of, if more people were like Sherry Wright, maybe things would be a little bit more controlled. As for Dusty Butler, not really seen or heard from them in a very long time, but they seemed okay in the past. See, to some extent, if you had the originals and it never changed, that could have been a bit more controlled as well. It's when you start adding new people in, too many people in the kitchen, it gets a little bit messy. So I think there's like continued conversations here, possibly within the same post. I'd like to know how to handle when I make a post and somebody hijacks it for their own agenda. Nothing related to the subject of my post. Maybe it starts with someone leaving a reply and another person attacking them on a past grievance. I don't want to be associated with nonsense or hatefulness, and it has nothing to do with my original post. There are times when I want my post deleted because of what someone else turned it into. What then? Edited to add. I'd like to see a rule that requires replies to be relatable in the content to original post. If admin doesn't have time to monitor, then it's not a dirty delete. Yeah, so there's got to be some exceptions there, because you might say something, other people may twist it or turn it into something else, and it could make you look bad. It could fall back on yourself, and there'll be other alternatives as well. But if you're not allowed to delete anything, you might feel trapped, and it's an unfortunate position. Oh, we got Lelia Pinson, another person that was whinging and whining about me. And she says to Anita, unfortunately, we cannot help you any further with this situation, as we are no longer admins per Justin removing us from that position! ! However, had we still been admins, if you would have come to us and raised your concerns, we would have politely told them to make their own post of the subject that they were arguing. So why was Lelia Pinson then removed? For naughty behaviour, like Michelle Ray Brummett? Or anything else in between? It does make you think. Because the biggest yappers in recent time who turned on me just happened to be admins or bloody moderators all of a sudden on this particular page, and there's been consequences that have come with it. Interesting timing, isn't it? Okay. Zoom in a little bit more. Okay. Lower down, Anita to Lilia. This is 100% perfect example of what I was talking about. I asked a question, you took it upon yourself to use it to air your grievances and did nothing to help. Bravo. Oh, and then Lelia says, well, you hijacked Michelle's post, so there's that. Bravo. Oh my God, I thought we're not here for drama. Goodness gracious, let's go all the way back to the high standards of what we're supposed to stand for in the name of we the people, we the Army page. So many screenshots. Where the hell is it at the start? Okay. No drama. I'm probably a bit too zoomed in. No drama or arguing with one another in this group. Remain respectful, and any trouble, take it to the DMs or block one another. We are adults, and we should be able to remain as adults. Is that so? Well, let's just return back to the post itself. Where is it there? Oh, first thing. Lilia says, well, you hijacked Michelle's post, so there's that. Oh, we're point taking now, having to go at one another. And Anita is saying, well, you took it upon yourself to air your grievances and did nothing to help. Great. Way, yeah, we're really following the rules. This is working out really well. Yeah, there we go. And Justin says, because of number 3, but thank you for the help, and you and Michelle will be great admins on Trav's Facebook page. Oh, this is where it starts getting warm, okay? Because you've got that third group and that third Facebook page, or you could say the fourth one if you was to put aside the Sofa Sleuth one. Yeah, so that's to Lelia Pinson, who Lelia and Michelle are a part of Travis Davidson's Facebook page, an individual known for threatening to sue people with no good reason in the early days, and harassing and threatening behavior, sexual deviant activity mindsets, and you want to surround yourself with someone like that? A person that jumps to conclusions that when I, Warlike Raf, referred to someone and mentioned the name in 2022, a reference to the Lord of the Rings, and then Travis takes it upon himself to say, oh my God, Warlike Raf compared me to Gollum. No, you're not Gollum. I never mentioned your name attached with it. You brought that upon yourself and made a false claim. And to be honest, in fairness, you know, you actually look worse than Gollum, so we can't even compare about that. But that's a different story. What we do need to move on to is the next screenshot. So what else do we have here? Lelia to Justin. So you removed us as admins because we came to you in DMs. Not on the Facebook group, but in DMs. Wow, gotcha. This is what I mean. These predictions, everything coming true, what I said with time. The Dylan Rouse case, everything that happened there, and I didn't have any experience, and I kept getting it right over and over again, and seeing how people turned upon me. They went elsewhere. Oh, it's all nicey-nicey. That is not going to last. And then I see it break down, and it's even worse in other places, just like how it is here. Lelia says, and I answered your question. Too bad it wasn't to your liking. You make a post or a comment on a public forum and then get upset when someone comments on you, comment or post. It doesn't matter what they comment, honestly. Don't want someone to comment, don't post. We cannot control what anybody does, period. Not you, not me, not anyone. It's just going to be that way. Why cry over it? And then part of what Justin says here to Lelia, you, Lelia, literally brought the drama from Trace. Who's Trace post in DMs with Beth Carr? Also, both of you stated you thought Beth Carr was Vanessa. So there's obviously a vendetta there. Beth Carr is not Vanessa. I made that clear myself because they're two separate people. But what I will say is Beth Carr is a problematic individual psychologically speaking, because how they may appear on my channel is different to how they speak elsewhere on Facebook. You know, positive then negative, negative then positive. Similar mindset to Michelle Ray Brummett. And these people not only are problematic, but are troublesome, because in a case, in a community, when they can be nice and negative at different times behind people's backs, what's really going on in their minds? What's really happening? And why are we focusing so much on the Vanessa Salazar situation? It's one singular female. Why should it have such shockwaves throughout the community? Whether they are a Colombian Italian former model, I mean, I could say that I, Warlike Raf, am going to be appearing on the Paris Fashion Walk next week. And what am I going to be wearing? I'm going to be wearing curtains and a lampshade on my head and be strutting down that walkway like a complete slut. You're not going to do anything about it. We're going to pull the strings, the light's going to come on, and somebody is home because I'm present. Take some snapshots, get the photography out, Yeah? Strawberry? Sharon, you got your camera ready? Oh, yeah, of course, Sharon. Hands shaky, can't keep it still. Don't worry, I'm sure Beauty Gurumo, with a 10% discount and a Linktree accounts and affiliates, will be able to get all the contacts and the baddies in to get the photos done and paint the nails in time before walking down the stageway. Yeah. Oh my God, is that going to mean some kind of Colombian collab with Vanessa? I don't think so, okay? I don't want any packages. I don't need any suitcases. I don't need any white substances anywhere near me. It's all under control, okay? So, yeah, a lot of stuff going on. Moving on. It continues. Justin says, I'm not going to keep arguing on here. We can DM if you like, but I spent hours on this reading everything. This was unnecessary drama, in my opinion. Yes, Beth Carr and Laura Dutton said some things they should not have, but so did you and Michelle. All these names which Justin is listing right now are all problematic people in some way or another. The observations that I made, maybe people are coming to the same wavelength as me now. Why did Trav, as in Travis Davidson, also known as Criminals Hate Me, why did Trav make that post about something so old and unnecessary? Where did he even get the idea for it? Now, I don't know if we've got the screenshot context for that, but we might get to something shortly, so stick about. Both of you were in that same group with Laura and Vanessa. It's kind of a common sense thing. As in group, does that mean group chat? But thank you for being an admin on the Army page, and good luck with Travis Davidson's page. Oh no. And what else do we have here? Michelle Ray Brummett to Justin, you are a liar. I did not say anything out of the line to them. I said things in a private conversation with you. As I said before, you bring these things on yourself. It's disgusting the way you treat people. Now you have a nice day. Well, there we go. Things are changing real quick. So Michelle now has a problem with Justin Roy and may have been previously. Oh, but by the way, we'll sweeten the deal, Michelle. You can be a moderator on this page. Oh, thank you, mister. That's what I really want. Yes, that's all good. And then when it's taken away afterwards, oh my God, I never liked you in the first place. You were always a problem anyway. I'm out of here. Switching and changing. I mean, are we talking like bipolar behavior? Or esque? Like? Not actually diagnosed, but observations being made only. There's a lot going on here. Calling Justin a liar? Did you always think like that, or is that only being said now? As I said before, you bring these things on yourself. It's disgusting how you treat people. Oh, so Michelle Ray Brummett, maybe before she was actually given the title of moderator, she told Justin that he brings problems onto himself and that his behaviour is disgusting, how he treats people. Well, Michelle Ray Brummett, if you believe that Justin is a disgusting individual in how he treats people, then why did you take that sweet deal of being a moderator then and going along with it? Oh, all happy and fine. And then as soon as it's taken away, back to square one. I don't like you, Justin. I don't like this. What is this childish-like behaviour going on? How embarrassing. Anyway, Justin says to Michelle, yet you got her to block you so you could remove her from the group when all of the drama started on Travis' Facebook page. Oh, there's drama on Travis' Facebook page? Wait, hold on. I'm sure there were some people on the Army page that were worshipping Travis Davidson as the god, the one to solve the case with the hard-hitting questions and answers. And there was people on the original Reddit page, the excellent Spite Reddit page, in which members and followers, and even... was it Impossible War? I'm not too sure there. That was actually bowing down and praising Travis. Really crazy stuff going on there. Yeah. Anyway, Justin says, how am I lying? That's where it started. Went to the DMs between y'all. Then she blocked you and you banned her like you wanted to the whole time. Banned her, as in, who's that? Banned her. Banned Elisha? I don't know. All of the was unnecessary drama has nothing to do with Noah. And in my personal opinion, it was a vendetta against Vanessa Salazar and Laura from 6 months ago. Why is Laura's name being dragged into this? I mean, I think Laura Dutton is a problematic person separately because of how Laura was interrogating me when it came to Vanessa, and how, more so in recent time, Laura's behaviour and attitude has changed towards me in an unnecessary way. Dutton said, "I didn't cause any of this, and it sucks that I have to even deal with it." So supposedly Justin Roy has done nothing wrong here, and he's basically having to clear up all the mess. Is that so? Oh no. What's this all about? Well, looks like Jan Fiorillo has a post as well, which we'll have a look at, separate one on the Army page. Regardless of what Kaden Pressy's phone records will or will not prove, why has Ellie done nothing? Now, I'm not too sure, I'll be honest with you, if this is the post which Elisha couldn't respond on. I don't know. But let's just read it. If Kaden Pressy's lawyer submitted Kaden Pressy's phone records to LE verifying he was on the highway at 5:21 a.m. and LE's geofence warrant did not catch Kaden Pressy's phone in the tower dump at 5:21, either the geofence data is inaccurate or Kaden Pressy has submitted a false statement and falsified documents to LE. If this were the situation, then LE would need to acquire Kaden Pressy's phone records to confirm where the issues, inaccuracies are. In any case, contradictory timelines by witnesses on scene should have warranted a deeper investigative dive from LE to distinguish verified data of the potential people and vehicles on the scene before the 911 calls were made, right? 1. If LE has confirmation that Kaden Pressy was at the highway scene at 5:21 and he was not located there at any other time before or after, then how does LE not bring Jack Newton back in for more questioning? Jack Newton confirmed that he was on the scene when Kaden Pressy, Brown Sweat, Mikey Lair and Isaac Rojas came to the scene. So how does Jack Newton explain being back at the official death scene at approximately 6 in the morning after the 911 callers are both there, whilst claiming to be on his way to meet his dad to go fishing? 2. If LE has confirmation that Kaden Pressy was at the scene at 5:21 and again at approximately 6:10 a.m, how does LE not bring Kaden Pressy back in for questioning? Or why was LE not in hot pursuit of an interview with Kaden Pressy to begin with? And how would Kaden Pressy explain being at the highway before the official death scene and back again after the call being made? Number 3. If LE has confirmation that Kaden Pressy was not at the highway scene at 5:21, how does LE not file falsely reporting to LE tampering with evidence and potentially obstructing charges for Kaden Pressy and Elisha? In any of these 3 scenarios, why has LE taken no action? How does LE explain not having taken any action? Why would investigators be thinking, what would be the point of stalling or waiting, and why in the hell is LE not making any progress statements to the public? If LE is doing their job, isn't this their job? Okay, maybe this is the first time in a while Jan Fiorillo has actually made a decent post without it being too long or dragged out, given different scenarios, which is a little bit refreshing for once. But, you know, I would have brought up some of these points myself. I mean, all Elisha says and has done previously, and it was mentioned in the Partners in True Crime Part 2 Never Released Before interview, in which if you did release it, they'd probably give you a massive copyright claim and be on your ass like a shark or something, nibbling away. But that aside, that never did happen, because it was under control. As in that interview, Elisha said that, you know, phone handed over to police eventually, Kaden's, and the date of the phone stuff proves Kaden's timeline is correct. That's what Elisha said. But the police haven't said that officially or publicly. So you got to take someone's word for it, and that might not be enough. Okay, moving on. Is this the last one? No, that was the last one. Noah Presgrove's puzzle. So this is Trav Davidson, also known as Criminals Hate Me, a new page set up. Why not change the name of Noah Presgrove's Army to This Group is Full of Fake Profiles That We Protect and Cover For? Now, there's a comment there by Beth Rose, also known as Beth Carr, because when you search it on Facebook, it's called Beth Rose Carr, or Beth Carr in brackets Rose. Nevertheless, they say, why not change the group name to Looking for Vanessa, Drama, etc. and remove Noah's name? I'm sure his family and friends are not appreciative of you bashing many of Noah's advocates in your group. Why do you accuse every group member who disagrees with you of being Vanessa and you aggressively attack them knowingly? Why now are you blaming Justin for yours and your mod's aggressive, vile behaviour of attacks on your group members when he's not even part of your vile, hateful, bullying, revengeful group? Why we can't all be Vanessa Salazar, yet you blame so many of being her? It's laughable at this point when you haven't had a group member, Lynn Fagan Singleton, that stated in your group that she's friends with Vanessa. So why don't you find her through Lynn and stop accusing everyone of being her and defaming their character? When one stands up against your bullying tactics, we all know you do this just for revenge against anyone who stands up to you and your mods. Very telling and says a lot about all of you, and now you want to blame Justin. Or you deserve one another and need to leave our names out of your vile mouths. We are only seeking the truth about what happened to Noah Presgrove, which you've seemed to have forgotten about him, just as for Noah. I mean, with all that going on there, I guess Beth Rose may have been commenting on Criminals Hates Me channel on YouTube, possibly, because I don't remember Beth Rose comment on my channel this. It's probably a different one. But, you know, it's so all over the place, because at one point people were bowing down to Travis Davidson, and what now people aren't. I mean, accusing this person of being a Vanessa, that person being a Vanessa, that person being a Vanessa. Supposedly, what was it, false claims made about, oh, that's Brooke, that's a false Brooke, that's a fake Brooke. I mean, what about the original? What about when Warlight Wrath was falsely accused of being George Choden? Remember that video? Do people remember that video made about me using my photos of me without my consent, breaking YouTube guidelines and nothing actually happening? How ridiculous, is it not? Anyway, moving on. Last but not least, September 25th, 2024, I guess, 11:02 p.m. Michael Faiska says, so I've been trying to find a way to boot Christine off the page of whatever, admit, and I cannot find it, doesn't give me the option to do it when I go into the admin panel. I can remove the other admin, I can remove moderators, but I cannot remove Christine. Is this to do with the case discussion page? Michael says, I'm thinking about just inviting Brooke Bounds Carter, JJ Bumpers, Colton Newton, Caleb Newton, Stevie Howard, and all the other criminals to be admins on the page and then just leaving. That could be sarcastic behaviour, you never know, because someone did react and laugh. This appears to actually be from a group chat, because you can see the laughing emoji bottom right corner of the screen. So basically, Michael is saying that Brooke Bounds Carter, JJ Bumpers, Colton Newton, Caleb Newton, Stevie Howard are criminals, supposedly. Okay. So let me know your thoughts down below and your reactions in general about all this. Oh, one last thing I just wanted to add in, because some other new posts or things have come about, supposedly, which kind of adds on with what we've seen just before. And it's by Lilia Pinson. It does say admin there. Maybe this was posted beforehand, before being taken off the admin role, or maybe this could be from a different page on Facebook, Case Discussion, or the Travis Davidson bunch. Let's just read it and understand. Lilia says, I just want to make a post to clear up the confusion that is apparently going on with why Michelle Ray Brummett and myself were removed as admins on the Army page. That could well be, this post is from Travis's page, the puzzle one. Lilia says, now, when Trav Davison brought us on admins of this group, okay, he asked us what we thought about Laura Dutton. I told him I did not trust her because she was such good friends with Vanessa Salazar in the past, and that I was part of a chat group ran by Vanessa, in which Laura and Vanessa stated that they had went out and ate together and had met a man there that was infatuated with Vanessa. And supposedly, that man that was infatuated with Vanessa was a topless waiter, 25 years of age, and arguably a lot more muscular than me. That's a bit of a random detail, that, but I do remember it. And there was actually like people like pouncing on the photos of some topless 25-year-old waiter and saying, oh, have you got your phone number? You're going to meet up again together. You're going to hang out again. And if you think about it in a way, if Laura Dutton and more so Vanessa Salazar salivating over it, and Vanessa supposedly wanted me at the time or was saying that I'm married to them, is a weird conflict of interest. It's a really messy situation. It's like some weird triangular stranglehold going on. But besides that, says Laura then in group chat said that she had slipped this man Vanessa's number. And he also invited Vanessa on a date to include Laura to be a third wheel. Well, Trav asked Laura about this and she lied about it. So I shared with him the screenshot I had on my phone. I was part of that group, so I had every right to screenshot. And I do think Lilia Pinson has a point here, because there was a mention of Laura Dutton being involved with that topless 25-year-old waiter with the muscles and the nipples hanging out. Don't know if the person was on any enhancements or not. And I'm not talking about Laura there. I'm talking about that man, that guy. But the mention of the phone numbers and, the people getting all giddy in the background. And I'm thinking, what the hell's going on? I thought this was supposed to be about the Noah Presgrove case. Not talking about nipples. But, that's just what happened. My property. Then when Trav, I guess, confronted Laura with the screenshots, I say I guess because I was not in a chat with them, so I can only imagine how he proved to her. She admitted that she and Vanessa created this whole story and even created a fake Facebook profile of this man named Chris D'Angelo to make Warlike Ref jealous and to like Vanessa. Oh no. What's going on here? Well, I guess if we needed anything light-hearted, I guess this comes in. Chris D'Angelo. That's the name of the supposed waiter. To make Warlike Ref jealous and to like Vanessa. Well, clearly it didn't work, because back then, and more so applied to now, I've just been focusing on lifting weights and the progression speaks for itself. Locked in. Why would two adult women do something like that? Anywho, in my opinion, that is, one, a fake thing to do, and two, proved mine and Michelle's point of Laura not being trustworthy, as once she, again, lied again. So we brought her untrustworthiness to Justin Roy's attention. Once again, as we had with so many others, our point to him was to show him that just because Laura apologised to him by saying Vanessa had manipulated her, he wouldn't have faith in that because she once again lied to someone else about her. So basically, Laura was playing the victim / vulnerable card. Oh, I was vulnerable. The cotton wool was pulled over my eyes. I didn't know better. It was a mistake. It happened, but I can change. I can transform myself to be a better person in the future. And clearly Laura Dutton failed to do that because they've acted out towards me as well. Disappointing. What else it was? She once again lied to somebody else about her involvement with Vanessa Salazar when she in fact was right up in the drama of Vanessa's. Then comes Beth Carr. I don't know what all happened there, but the wording she used. Moving on to the next one, because we can't fit it all on the bloody screen. I don't know what all happened there, but the wording she used and the attacks she made on Michelle reminded us of how Vanessa used to act. So we again went to Justin in a private message to bring our concerns to him. Meanwhile, even after Michelle asking Beth to quit DMing her, the old bitty kept on and so on, accusing her. So Michelle told Justin, if she's going to keep doing this and you don't do anything, I don't know how long I can stay as admin. Justin did nothing. Supposedly, his account got hacked. I don't know how your account gets hacked, but yet you can keep using it to message people. Well, was it Justin that got hacked? Michael got hacked. Elisha got hacked. Home speaker systems talking like a ghost or something. Anywho, Beth blocked Michelle on the army page. Group rule is no blocking admins, so Michelle banned her from the group. Now Justin removed us as admins over this situation and banned us from the group. I don't know the reason he gave Michelle for banning her, other than she did this, even though she did not. He told me I was banned for bringing drama to the army page from another page. I never, not once, took anything to his army page. I took it to a confidential private chat between admins. So again, Justin, explain why I got banned. Explain what your purpose was to remove us as admins. Explain to us what it is that we were close to uncovering, that you all of a sudden got hacked and had to reset your phone. Uh-oh. You said, let you figure it out. You did. Beth Carr is a real person. We get that. But is Beth also Vanessa Salazar? Who knows? I mean, it's like, bloody Scooby-Doo, this. Who's who? People make fake accounts every day. Kind of funny. Beth and Vanessa use the same lingo when they harass people, when they want to get their point across. But the thing is, I've not once seen Beth Carr say anything really sloppy or positive, because I know that's how Vanessa Salazar was at times. Like, really positive and with words and language. You don't see that within Beth. When they get to their point across, they also used to live in, what, is that Arizona? Oh yeah, and Vanessa was supposed to move back to Arizona. Makes mine go, We understand that Beth Carr is a real person, but Vanessa could also be one of her alter egos. Have you actually looked into Beth Carr, Justin, or have anybody else do it for you? Had you looked? Oh yeah, the alter egos, the alternative accounts and ones. I mean, who was the person again that started making false claims about another individual who I had to defend and set the record straight? Right, so there's a lot going on. Seems to be a range of different people obsessed about Vanessa Salazar. I mean, why are we still going on till this day? I mean, I'll make some little references and links at times when it's needed, but it just keeps going on and on and on. And it's a little bit embarrassing, to be honest, in terms of all mentions of fake accounts and false accounts here and there and everywhere. I mean, at the end of the day, a fake account, false account, is when you're pretending to be someone else that you're not. If you simply have a default profile, or you got a profile picture of a cat or a dog or a horse or a camel, you got a random username, Big Plum, Stiff Knob, Doorknob, garden gnome. I mean, at the end of the day, you're not faking it. It's just a random name. That's all it is. It's pretty self-explanatory. But, you know, if, like, I've seen it been on the receiving end where there's been impersonation accounts of me with the same username and profile picture, and it's pretty messed up. Clearly people are doing it in a desperate way to tarnish me and paint a negative picture of me. It's embarrassing. So, I guess just a little bit more context here, which we didn't see before. Maybe it helps, maybe not. That was rather interesting looking at all that. I don't know if your opinions, outlook has changed. Are you shocked and surprised by what's gone down in such a small space of time? I said it doesn't surprise me because I predicted that things like this could happen. And when you do get groups and people that band together or reform, that when the cracks are there, it'll implode on itself and crumble, and you try and build it back up after. It's not always the same. What I do want to say is, obviously, is that if people did listen to my advice and my predictions and additional analysis with time, you know, the outsiders, if they listened, probably wouldn't be in this mess right now. So I predicted it. It happened. And unfortunately, people got burnt by the flames. It is what it is. It happens when humans don't listen. But besides that, as for new predictions, what basically happens now is, because you got that third group established on Facebook as a page, you might get people coming and going over there. And then there might be some pettiness back and forth with the army page and the case discussion page. I don't know about the Sofa Salute page, keeping to themselves, who knows. But you can see how it's going to turn into a bit of a war on Facebook with the different groups and back and forth and little references, remarks and whatnot, and there's some screenshots being taken and beyond. Who knows what will happen next. But as for my predictions, when you start getting different pages, different groups, multiple people, allegiances and opposition, it can get a bit heated. I saw it with the Dylan Rounds case from the YouTube side, the different YouTube channels which were covering the case, partially covering the case, and the references made towards me, attacks made towards me and elsewhere towards others, and then the audiences, armies going at one another, being sent out to war, people getting worn, torn, scraped, cut and everything, not literally, and it wasn't a good outcome in the end. So that's what could happen here in this case. I still think that there needs to be cleansing elsewhere in regard to, you know, how some people can break guidelines and there's no follow-up on it. Ridiculous. You know, paedophiles can do whatever they want. Animal abusers can do whatever they want on YouTube. And people that spread and like really overdo it with the OnlyFans promotions. They get away with it all, but then the moment somebody else does something very lenient, small scale, they're punished severely. It's very weird and all over the place. But what I will do, as dramatic and chaotic as it's been from like what we've seen today, we can do some alternative stuff right now. Do you know, when it comes to lightheartedness? Okay, let's do some lightheartedness now to cut through the darkness. And I hope the right people are present and watching right now. Okay, and if not, anybody else, get your dogs to bark, get the cats to meow, and wake anyone up and bring people back. You got to pull them by the ears. You got to pull someone out of the hot tub, get them in place, because we need to do alternative stuff. And I've not forgotten. So basically, what we're going to be doing right now is measuring Warlike Raph's knob. Okay, I've got the tape measure here. We're going to be doing almost like a live premiere measurement test. Okay. I have links on with what Skippy was referring to, the Coyote Tamer Master, and as well as Rebecca Gagliari, also known as Rebecca Gag Order Implemented Yari. Okay, got the gag orders, but someone like Sharon is not gagging because she has it under control. But me, obviously not quite, because I was gagging on that banana when I was doing that little demonstration that time. But speaking of which, if we've got Joyce or Joyce rolls, I don't know where we're going there. I think there was a mention about, oh, that's a mouthful, or what he said, what I said. It might be a mouthful, but I do have the capacity for it. So it's under control, at least for that. Because when doing that demonstration, the difference between sucking and blowing, there's a clear difference. And whilst people had obsessions in the past, like within the army page towards Brooke Bounds Carter, doing underhand favours elsewhere, which didn't make much sense, you know. You can see how the obsessions continued on, and it just went a bit over the top and odd. But I did a little demonstration, because that's what I'm known for. All about doing demonstrations. And the demonstration right now is to measure my knob, or at least one of them. Yes, I do have more than one knob. I thought everyone else did, but maybe not. Maybe I'm just built different. Beauty Gurumo. So, as for how does this work? Okay, probably a bit too generous. Okay, so we're going to test it right now. Okay, brace yourself, Rebecca. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. What's it like? This is what we're talking about. Higher than the light, but this is what I mean. I can reach it. Some people will reach there. I reach here. Okay. Where are we doing it from? Okay. Okay. It's probably not going to show clearly on screen because it's reversed, but basically my knob is under 2 inches. Okay, and I tried doing it fair, under 2 inches, about there. That work? Okay. It says 1, that's number 1. It goes to there, so that's in inches, I believe, just under 2 inches. Okay. Well, it is what it is, but, you know, if anyone was interested in the size of the knob, there you go. So that's all under control. In terms of names, and what do we mean by names, kind of like in a light-hearted way. So you got Beauty Gurumo, also known as Beauty Built Different Gurumo, or in other words, Beauty Guru, throw that slipper and whack someone on the head to hit a nerve. Yeah, Beauty Gurumo, you think you could toss things about? You're the shoe tosser. I can as well. There you go. Was it on target? I don't know. Could it have been collateral damage? Maybe. Oh my god, Beauty Gurumo. You gonna try again? Can I hit the strawberry? Nearly. Oh well. I've run out now, but maybe I can borrow someone else's. Okay. Sharon, do you have any spare items I can borrow? Maybe? Okay. The other custom name, what we've got, of course, is Brooke Bounds Carter, also known as Brokeback Carter. And if not that, Breaking Bad Carter. So some things to work with there. Is there anyone else? We've got Joyce Burgow. Joyce. Well, actually, I've got one of them. I'll mention the original one first. Jump for Joyce. Battle of Gettysburg Gow. Okay, and then the other one is Joyce Cornhole MVP. Won a gold medal with a broken neck. Hole in one, Burgow. Okay, it's still a mouthful, but it's just work in progress as we do go along. We've got Tim. I'll have to stand up for this one. Tim Daniel. Is Tim Daniel about? I don't know. But we've got Tim. Is my pocket thin? Daniel. Tim, your pocket may be thin, but your clothing accessories are not. So that's all fine there. Also known as Tim Jack Daniels. Oh, and a few more. We've got Lelia Pinson, also known as Lelia Diarrhea Pinheadson. Donna Kebab Bond. Donna, I'm out on Bond. A couple of other ones is Vanessa Inames Salazar, the salmon. Also have Inner Tiff, Noah Fanny Shepherd. We have Partners in True Crime, also known as Partners in True Copyright and Tight-Fitting Tops. Better not wear any more, or they might be taken off of me. And then the other two light-hearted ones is Michael Faye's Kaz, also known as Michael in a Daze Kaz, and Justin Roy, Justin lacking context Roy. As for some of the little detractors, we've got Stephanie Streaky Bacon. We have Sharai. Would I like to know? Divine by nature, but not quite divine by presence. Busking about, but not much coming out of it. You've got Michelle Ray Wonky Glasses Brummett and Beth, I crashed my car. We also have Pam Feldman Garrison, also known as Wham Bam, thank you Pam, throw your toys out the pram. And then finally, we've got Jan, is this the way to Amarillo, Fiorillo. On the sideline, we've got Lan the man with the plan. So hopefully that's good enough. And of course, we can always add to the list and glossary. I know we've got Sour Wood, Knock Knock, who's there, Winnie the Pooh wants his honey back. But I'm sure that can be arranged for some other time and day. Of course, as for myself, I do have some names too. Warlike Raph, Raffi, the Giraffe, Whore-like Raph, Wet-like Raph, and much more. There's many, very, very customizable my name in different ways. Winner. Oh, there we go. I remember the final one. We've got to drop this one. In the Dylan Rounds case, you had a penny individual with a whiny voice that said, I'm a winner, I'm a winner. And then I used it to myself. So WLW, Wall Like Raph, can also mean winner like Raph. Yeah? Not as much of a winner as Joyce Burgow is in those cornhole competitions, but I'm getting there bit by bit. So there's that. Besides all that, I think Handy Andy is done for today. If you want to share the video, hit the thumbs up, that'd be much appreciated. And we'll see what happens next and the coverage that follows. Goodbye, good night for now.